Hello again, everybody. It's me. Welcome to week 3 of Halloween-a-thon and Halloween-a-thon activities. Now, I have not read a single fucking thing all weekend. And part of that's because other things I was doing, but also I just didn't want to pick this book up. So I am going to re-roll and see what happens because I just don't think that this book, I have it right here, I don't think that Beautiful Atrocities was a right choice for me to put in my pile for Halloween-a-thon. Friday, my dog Sabbath was not feeling well. And I'm assuming it's something she ate because it seemed like once she had expelled everything from from both ends, she seemed okay again. She was her normal exuberant self, luckily, and she was eating and drinking fine. Although, one thing that I'm glad I kind of finally found something that is okay for her when she's having tummy troubles is it's recommended to give them a bland diet, which is like chicken and rice. And she can't eat chicken. She's allergic to chicken. So what do I give her then? And I was reading up about it. Some people were saying lamb, but it's I can't afford to feed my 50-pound dog lamb until she feels better. What the fuck? So what we tried is cod. So I bought some frozen cod fillets and boiled them and gave them to her with some rice and a little bit of pumpkin puree, which she fucking loves. I give that to her sometimes just as a little snacky. And luckily, Saturday morning, she was feeling fine. Crisis averted. Then Saturday, which is technically the beginning of the Halloween-a-thon week for me, one of my friends owns a CBD shop in town, and once in a while they have somebody come out and do a paint night, but it's a really fun adult paint night, if you know what I mean. There's some vendors there and things like that, and I knew I couldn't miss this one because I figured it was going to be a Halloween-y painting. It was a lot of fun. It always is. It's such a nice crowd. I wish I had gotten more video of it. When I've been before, I'm usually there helping set up before everyone comes, but I didn't do that this time. And so there were lots of people there. It was about to start by the time I got there, and I didn't want to, I don't know, I always feel weird taking video where people maybe they don't want to be in my fucking video, you know? So I don't like doing that. And it was still really fun though. I just wish I could show you guys more of what it's like because it's so chill, it's so nice. And we painted ghosties. So these are blacklight reactive paint, and since we're in the dark with the blacklight, it's you're looking at the painting and then you take it out into the light and you're whoa, this looks so much different. The artist was giving us instructions for these ghosts that were really cute, and they were hugging each other, and they're very round everywhere type of ghosts. And I made mine a little bit different because I just wanted them to be weirdos who are just staring at you. I don't know. So these are my two little ghosts. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, especially being a little bit inebriated when you do it. It's a good time. And so most of my Saturday was doing that. Although, did Zach and I watch something that night? Oh, that's right. On Friday we watched VHS Halloween, and I really like this. I think this is one of the stronger ones in the series. And Zach he said I didn't care for it, which is his way of saying I thought it was dumb. But I thought it was great. There was one in particular where it's a scary candy factory almost. It's such a blast. I thought it was really good. So we watched that. That's a found footage anthology series. There's 6 or 7 of them at this point. And on Saturday we watched Bring Her Back again because it's just it's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's maybe my favorite movie of the year. Maybe it is my favorite. It's so good. It's about these step siblings an older brother and a younger sister. The sister has visual impairment, so she is partially blind, and their caretaker dies, and they are like going to be fostered. But the person who's going to be fostering them kind of just wants the younger sister. And the brother's like, please, 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 we have to be together. I help her out so much. She can't do this without me, kind of a thing. Like, they both want to be fostered together. And he's like nearly an adult. So he really wants that to happen. And once they get there to this lady's house, you can tell that there's just something not quite right about her. And she has this mute boy also living with her, her nephew. And he's also very strange. He doesn't seem to try to communicate in any way. And she treats him kind of strangely. And it's just a very bleak, eerie movie where it's just like everything is bad. And I think that's why I like it so much. I think it's the same directors as Talk to Me. If you haven't heard about this movie, it's been pretty talked about, you know, since it came out and before even. And I think that the directors are pushing limits in a way that is really interesting, especially things involving younger people, in a way where it doesn't feel exploitative, you know? It just is very sinister and spooky. So I like this. I love Talk to Me, but I like Bring Her Back even more, and I can't wait to see what these guys come out with next. Okay, and then yesterday I had a really low-key day. Saturday we went to the gym and we did legs, which is only maybe like the third time I've done that since I hurt my legs. So it's been like, or since I hurt my back, I mean. So it's been almost a full year since I've done any sort of like leg exercises. And it's hard too, because not only I feel like I'm almost starting over from the very beginning of where I was when I started weightlifting, but also I have to be like so like cognizant of my form and make sure that I'm supporting my back and like tightening my core, because I found out the reason I hurt my back, it's not a nerve issue, luckily I guess, but it's like something that, okay, so luckily it's not a nerve issue, but I am hypermobile. And they think that because I'm hypermobile, my body just does things in an abnormal way, and I don't support parts of my body the way that I should, because I can just, I don't know, I have unnatural mobility. And I've always kind of had like achy back problems. So it's really no surprise to learn that I'm not supporting my back with my core really ever. And so now I have to be really aware of that when I'm doing things like back squats and really just any leg exercise, because you can hurt your back really easily. And I don't think that's what hurt my back. Like, weightlifting did not hurt my back, but sitting around like a weird maniac, I guess, like a weird little goblin, is what hurt my back. And so now with this leg stuff, I have to be so careful. And my legs were so fucking sore. I'm not going to class today because I walked to school and there's no way I'm hobbling my ass. Maybe it's about a mile to school and then back. I just can't do it. And I don't have a parking permit. And I just am not going to do that today. Sunday was pretty chill. We watched one movie, The Borderlands, which came out in 2013, and that was a found footage movie with like religious stuff going on. It's like these guys are sent to this church because this priest is saying there's been a miracle, he has it on camera, and like the Catholic Church sends these guys to investigate it and really to debunk it. But they get more than they bargained for, of course, because it's a horror movie. And I thought that this was pretty good. I thought that there were some like pretty spooky parts, and I didn't quite understand the ending, but that didn't ruin the rest of the movie for me. So I liked that one, especially as a found footage film. And then last night we watched Leprechaun 2, This is the first time Zach's seen a Leprechaun movie. And honestly, I feel like, I don't know, the first one's pretty fun too. But the second one wasn't bad. Like, it was still fun. In this one, the leprechaun, of course, who has no name, but he tries to trick a teenage girl into becoming his leprechaun bride. And so it's like a little bit creepy sometimes because he's like talking about this like young girl bearing his brood and stuff like that. And you're like, ew, that's so fucking gross. And now we can roll again to see what the fuck I'm going to be doing today, because it's not going to be reading that book. Okay, well, I just rolled and my dice fell under this bookshelf here, so if that happens again, I'm going to be furious. 6. Okay. I don't even have my pen pointer right here either. Here we go. How about a dead bird foot? Is that Halloween-y enough for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Candies! Candies. That's an activity, folks. So the last activity I had was to read in the dark, and that was a lot of fun. Although I do that often. So I'm ready to do another activity. Donate blood! I can't do that yet! Okay, putting that back. I can't. It hasn't been enough time since the last time. Play a cozy, spooky game. Okay, right now I have been playing Graveyard Keeper, but for this I plan to look through my library and see if there's anything else that. So I'm going to look when I am done with like the shit I need to do today. I have to go to the post office. I need to do, make up the school, the class that I'm missing today. So I'm gonna do that, and then we will talk about a cozy spooky game. Hey, it's still Monday. I pulled this activity card, right, to play a cozy spooky game. And at first I was thinking maybe I would start something new, but then I was also thinking about this habit I have where I momentarily put down a game to try something else, and then I get really fixated on the new thing that I've tried, and I forget about the other game that I had been playing previously. And since I'm really trying to finish Graveyard Keeper this time, I don't want to do that. So I've decided I'm not going to start a new game. I'll just play Graveyard Keeper today and roll again tomorrow for a new activity. But in place of starting a new game, I think I'd like to tell you a little bit about Graveyard Keeper and maybe some other cozier games with spooky vibes that I've played and I like. So Graveyard Keeper is like a simulation game, right? A sim for short, but not The Sims. You are a modern day man who wakes up in this almost medieval feeling town, and this talking skull tells you that you're the new Graveyard Keeper. And you're like, well, wait, I gotta get back to the future where my love is. And he's like, you better stop talking about that right now or you're gonna get yourself into trouble. So I haven't finished like the whole game, so I'm not really sure exactly where this plot goes, but you know yourself that you are a modern day human, and now you're an old-timey human. You operate this graveyard, so that includes receiving the deceased corpses. You can operate on them, do autopsies, and then you figure out where their body goes. Are you going to cremate them? Are you going to bury them in the churchyard? The churchyard has this like beautification score kind of, so there's some things with the bodies, like a system of like the quality of the soul that affects the churchyard. And there's the church inside where you give sermons once a week. You can to like earn certain things, and that has like a beautification score as well. There's so much to do in that game. It's really fun. And I have the expansions for them, which adds different things like being able to make zombies, running a tavern. There's like some other plot lines that you follow, helping. There's this donkey that brings the corpses to your residence with a cart, and there's some extra gameplay with that. So it's really fun. There's building and constructing, and of course your duties as a graveyard keeper. You get quests from like the people in the nearby town. It's really a very fun game with a lot to do. One that I'd really recommend. I would say I know this is like such a buzzword now, right? Like the cozy game, and I don't know if I necessarily like that word for it, because I feel like it's almost patronizing and a way to talk about things like they aren't real video games, at least in my mind, at least. Maybe that's just a weird interpretation on my part, but for the sake of classifying them in a way that people might be familiar with, I think it's a cozy game, but it does have some combat. It's not really hard or anything. You just press one button, literally, to swing your little sword around and chop up bats and slimes. Another one that I feel like would fall under this category a little bit is Subnautica, which I didn't get very far into because I got to a spot where I'm like, I'm not really exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing right now, and then I put down the game, and that's just, it went into the graveyard of my brain, unfortunately, and maybe I'll pick it up again someday. It was really interesting, and it had some really spooky things, especially I think if you get spooked out by like things being in the ocean, because you're in this crash, you're in this sort of pod, and you end up in the ocean, and from time to time you'll get buzzes from, you're in an escape pod, so this big, I can't even remember if it's a boat or like an airship or what, but it is crashed into the ocean. There were multiple escape pods that escaped, but you're the only survivor in your pod, and you've got this scuba gear, and basically you have to figure out how to survive in this ocean and how to, I guess, get out, get help. Like I said, I didn't make it very far in the plot. It's because it's so open, but it's also open ocean. It was a little hard for me to figure out where I was going at times. You have like an oxygen reserve, so you can only be underwater for so long. The depth you're at matters. You build equipment to help you with that kind of stuff. And for the most part, you're around ocean creatures that are totally fine and won't attack you, but sometimes there are ocean creatures that do want to eat you, and that gets kind of spooky. So sometimes it's a little bit scary, but it's not, I don't know if it's a straight up horror game. Maybe it's tagged as that. Another cute spooky one I played was called Beacon Pines, and this one is more of a visual novel. So you do a lot of reading. There are some parts where you're walking around as this cute little deer character who's a little kid, and he lives in this really small town called Beacon Pines, and you know that something bad happened in the past, and there seems to be some mystery surrounding the events of that. There's this strange new company kind of in town that seems to maybe be dealing with like cloning technology, and all the adults are very secretive about everything, of course. So you're like this kid with his friends trying to figure out what's going on in your town. There are different like decision branches. So you make a decision. Sometimes it leads you to another part of the story. Sometimes it stops you at that point in the story and you have to go back and make another decision. So that was a little bit frustrating sometimes to like almost replay through parts. You know, in the end, it was pretty fun. The animation's really cute, and I don't know, definitely cozy spooky. Now, one I haven't played very much of, but I did like what I played of it, is called Dredge. And in this, you're basically just a boat. You're not actually a boat. You are like the captain technically, but you never like get out of your boat and walk around or anything. You're in the ocean, you go through your day and things are fine, but at night, things get a little sinister. And sometimes there are these big monsters, and there's shipwrecks you kind of explore and quests that you do for people at different ports and things like that. There's quite a amount of map space for you to explore. But I feel like with this game, at least, once you're done with the quests for everybody, it's probably not going to have like a lot of playability. Two that I did like though, that are kind of weird, also visual novels, are the Monster Prom games. So I've played the first one, Monster Prom, where you choose a monster and you also pick another person in your high school that you want to ask to prom. And you kind of travel to different areas of your school and have interactions with people, and the choices and dialogue you make kind of score you points or make you lose points with the people, your classmates. And at the end, you get to choose who you ask to prom. And I've never once been successful. But it's a lot of fun. There are great characters. I've also played Monster Prom 2, which is Monster Camp. So you're at a summer camp. There are some new characters. And it's the same idea. I think you're asking them to like, I don't know, some summer camp event. Those are really fun. I love the dialogue in those. Another weird one that I liked is called The Texorcist, the story of Ray Bibia. And this one, you're an exorcist and you have to type out his little exorcist rites, and how well you do with that corresponds to how well he's exercising whatever he's up against. So that one's kind of different and fun. I don't know how many of you out there play video games, but those are some of my spooky recommendations. Of course, there are ones that I played that have a lot more combat that are spookier, like Dead Island. I love the Left 4 Dead series. I don't know what else. Those are just off the top of my head, so I recommend those if you like things that are a little more spooky. I am like, things, I do get spooked very easily. So things that are like really horror focused, I don't try a lot of because it's scary to me. But like I said, if I pull that card, I've got Dead Space waiting for me. And I really hope, if we get down to like the last week of Halloween-a-thon and I haven't pulled that activity card, I'm just going to do it because I want to like push myself, and I think it would be fun to document. So that's my spooky video game segment, cozy spooky video game segment. I'm going to play Graveyard Keeper a little bit today, and then I'll be back to do another roll tomorrow. Hi, it's Wednesday, Halloween-a-thon week 3. Day 3. I meant to check in yesterday, or I intended to on Monday. Thought that I was going to do that yesterday. But I really just like was not in the mood to do anything. I did do some things, but I wasn't in the mood to like talk in front of a camera. So I didn't. And I have not yet rolled since finishing my cozy spooky video game card. So I'm going to do that. I also have some mail that came in. I'm excited to show you guys that. First, I gotta tell you about what I've watched in the last couple days. I decided to pick up some of the movies that I own that I'd like to watch. This was a rewatch for me. Wrong Turn 2, Dead End. This one is so much fun. I like this better than the first Wrong Turn. I think the first Wrong Turn starts to get a little bit boring to me after seeing it a couple times. But this one is a lot of fun. Creepy in a gross way, and it is a little bit outrageous and inappropriate, and it's got Henry Rollins, so what more could you ask for? In this one, it's kind of like a pseudo-reality TV show. So the people are in the woods of West Virginia to be contestants on this reality TV show. So you get kind of like the background of it, like the sleazy director, the host, which is Henry Rollins, the contestants, stuff like that. And as they are, you know, doing this reality TV show in the woods, some of them start to get attacked by these backwoods dwellers. And then a movie that I've owned and I thought I had maybe seen before, like years ago, But then watching it, I realized I have not seen this at all. This, I thought it was okay. It was a little bit long. It's about an hour and 40 minutes, which I guess isn't that long, but it just kind of felt long. I feel like the first, or maybe like the second act of it, drags on. And I kind of understand why, because in this movie, we're following a woman who has lost her child. She hires, like, he died, the child died, not like she lost him at the grocery store. So she hires this guy to help her perform this ritual that will ask her guardian angel, it will like summon her guardian angel so that she can ask this angel for whatever she wishes for. So a lot of it though is them doing this ritual and going through this ritual, and you know, the guy says like, we have to do this thing and we have to do it multiple times for the angel to appear, if we can even do it right. So it is a lot of them performing this thing over and over, and it makes it feel long. And I didn't hate it. I thought that some of it was really interesting. I'm not really sure if they like ever say what kind of like what school of magic he's performing, but that part was kind of interesting. Okay, also, look what I got in the mail. I requested this from Saga Press and I was able to get a copy. I'm so excited. This is The Good House by Tananarive Due. This is a reprint of it with this new cover. The home that belonged to Angela Toussaint's late grandmother was so beloved that the townspeople in Sacagawea, Washington called it the Good House. But the Toussaint's family history and future is dramatically transformed after a tragedy that has buried the true story in the past. Had Angela's grandmother, who is reputed to have powers, been battling an adversary in the surrounding woods? And has Angela's son Corey now awakened it and put a curse on the entire community? I guess I'll have to find out. What a beautiful cover. So thanks again, Saga Press. Then actually quite quickly I received what I ordered from Shout Factory's Shocktober. I think that's what they're calling it. Their Shocktober sale. I ordered 5 movies. It said like, don't expect your movies to come right away, but then they came like a week later. I did order like the day the sale started, so that could be why. But I'm really excited to show you what I got. First, one I've been coveting for years, My Bloody Valentine. I got this cool steelbook. Actually, I'm gonna open it and see what it looks like inside. I don't usually seek out steelbooks. I think I have 2 others. I have one of, actually, Zach had this when him and I met, but it's this really cool steelbook of Reservoir Dogs. It's like a gasoline can, and I have one of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I don't seek them out, but you know, they're cool. And I found this one for a decent price and thought, why the fuck not? So nothing special on the inside, but cool design on the outside. Let's see this again here. Look at that. That's actually pretty fucking rad. Another seasonal movie, Valentine, which is one of my very long time favorites. This is another slasher movie set around Valentine's Day. Revenge on the mind, of course. If you haven't seen this, it's such a treat, especially around Valentine's Day. And my third holiday related movie. This wasn't even on purpose. These are just movies I really have been needing copies of. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I didn't have a copy of this. I actually only have a copy of Halloween #1 and the Halloween #1, the Rob Zombie edition. But this is my favorite Halloween movie. Arguably the best one. I'm sad that the series didn't go in the way of the anthology, where each one would have a little different story to tell, but people were so upset that Michael Myers was not in this one. But man, it's such a great one, and it's the perfect Halloween movie, like Halloween season movie, because this is about this company that makes Halloween masks, and something bad is gonna happen when all these kids put their masks on on Halloween. Then I also picked up a copy of Silent Hill. Love this movie. I think it's one of the best, I don't know, how many video game adaptations have I seen? I don't know, but this is the best one, I think. Well, there are other ones, maybe just not horror movies. There's, you know, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Mario, but this is the best adaptation in my mind. And this has the really cool Scream Factory Collector's Edition cover. Love it. Okay, last one from Shout Factory. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. This is the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, aside from the first one, in my opinion. This is so funny. It's so weird. One of my favorite things about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is that it's constantly rewriting its own history. Leatherface himself has like 3 to 4, maybe 5 different names throughout the franchise. The last name of the family changes. The family members change. This one is the best one though. This one has Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger in it, and it is just hilarious. I love this one so much. Then finally, before we roll, this is from Severin Films. They're another boutique movie seller. They, you know, remaster movies, things like that, put them out on cool Blu-rays and 4K editions and shit like that. I've got a box full of packing peanuts here to make sure everything stays safe. So 2 of these movies I've seen before, one I have not. This one, first one, long-time favorite, Santa Sangre. This is directed by Alejandro Jodorowsky. He makes bizarre movies, and this one is bizarre. So good though. Then, new time favorite, Eaten Alive. This is an Italian cannibal exploitation film, as you can probably tell by the cover. Finally, I found this one called Saint Bernard, and I've never heard of it before. It sounds, well, it sounded really weird. I guess there's no, without opening it up. Oh, okay, it's got different artwork on the DVD itself. And okay, an unhinged orchestra conductor named Bernard graphically descends into a surreal odyssey of chaos, psychosis, and, quote, fucked up shit that looks cool as hell. Oh my god, Warwick Davis is in this? Okay, yeah. I'm glad that I did, because I almost didn't. I was like, I should just be buying movies that I have seen and things like that. But then I saw this and I was like, but it's also cool to try things that I haven't seen also. And I took a chance on this, and I think I've made an alright decision. Okay, so as you might remember, or maybe you don't, I landed on a activity space last time. I did my activity. It was to play a spooky cozy video game. We rolled a 6. I feel like that's what I got last time too. Better than a 1. Here's my pointer for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bats. Bats and Cats are novellas. Alright. I actually have really not read very much in the past few days, and it was fine. Okay, so where are my say your right words? My cards. Give them a healthy mix. You better pull a good one this time, me. Candy. Okay. I've had this for a while. I probably should figure out if I'm going to read it or dump it. Here is Candy by Justin Woodward. This one is a little bit longer. It's a little over 150 pages. The synopsis says, "My name is Candy Tran. Before I was hunting down serial killers and feeding men to alligators, I was a normal church-going, tax-paying citizen before all of this. I've been given a chance to tell my story, so please listen closely. This is going to take a while." So she's kind of a vigilante. Seems interesting enough. I am going to give this a fair chance. And I'm not even going to go into it with hate in my heart like I did with Beautiful Atrocities. That book really didn't deserve it, of course. It's just that I think I shouldn't have put it on my Halloween-a-thon list. This one, I'm being optimistic. I'm going to like it. So that is my Wednesday check-in. I really have fucking got to edit some shit. Oh my god, I'm so behind, and it just keeps growing because I keep vlogging. There's just not enough time for me to do life and to do work and to do school. But I'm hanging in there. It's hot back here now. It's supposed to be like 90 degrees today. Can you fucking believe that? It has been pretty cool. Cool at night, especially, but hate it. Okay, so I'll check in maybe tomorrow about how Candy is. Hopefully I'll, you know, be able to get a decent chunk of it. We'll see. Hi, it is Friday. I didn't check in yesterday like I thought I would, but I read a little bit of Candy. I'm at maybe around a page 100. Listen, it's not the great American novel. It's not fucking Hemingway. It's not Fitzgerald. But it is pretty entertaining. It's about this teenager named Candy who gets roped into some sort of bizarre scheme. She's being blackmailed, and the blackmailers are saying, well, it'll be okay if you just kill these people for us. Okay, I'm gonna have a little spoiler here, so if you don't want to hear it, skip ahead a little bit. But it's kind of crazy at the part I'm at right now because she's really doing it with her boyfriend. She's getting blackmailed for something she helped her boyfriend with, and her boyfriend get like kidnapped after they've killed some people, and they realize that there are at least 3 groups of people who have been given the task of killing the same people but for different reasons. So Candy and her boyfriend were told that these were serial killers, but the other people have been told other things. So things are getting weird, and I'm invested. So that's good. Today I just got back from, well, not really back, I'm just in the parking lot of World Market. Lavi's going to a friend's birthday party today, and so I got her like some snackies and a candle and I don't know, some like preteen girl things, you know. But I also got my favorite chips, the Zappos Evil Eye chips. It's like my favorite brand of chips. I love their like Cajun Gator chips, and they're like, they've like crawfish ones that aren't crawfish flavored, which is why I like them. I don't know if I'd like them if they're crawfish flavored. They've got the voodoo chips that are delicious. The Evil Eye ones, if you've had the voodoo chips, they're just the voodoo chips but spicy, and I love them. And then I'm really excited about this just because I've been wanting to try them. Lavi and I have talked about it like 4 separate times, and she has been doing super fantastically in school this year, and like that doesn't come necessarily easy to her. So I'm really proud of how she's doing. I think a lot of it last year was that she was stuck with the teacher she had the year before because that teacher had to move up because they had so many kids in that year. I mean, her teacher was gone for medical reasons a bunch, which really sucks. She said she was also like in the middle of a divorce, which sucks. But even the year before that, it wasn't great either. And then last year it was just terrible. And you know, you could tell my kid just like fucking hated going to school. And this year it is like a 180 and it's great. So it's the end of the quarter. Her grades look excellent, and I found these silky gems. Have you ever seen these? And the thing is that I've seen like ads for them before where people are getting product for free or maybe even getting paid to review them, and they're like, these are so good, and then all the comments will be like, I didn't like these, but some of them will also be like, yeah, they're good, but a lot of them are like, these were weird. So I've gone back and forth about like ordering some to try them for forever, and then but they're kind of expensive, you know, so I saw these at World Market. I'm hoping she'll be really excited to try some of these out, even if they're gross. At least we didn't order like a shit ton of them. And then maybe also she can bring some to eat with her friends today. So those are some things I'm excited about today. They had some Halloween stuff. There were like 2 things I really, really wanted to get. There was like one, it was like a tin platter of like the brand is like Bestial, not that. Bestial. It is a vintage company. They've been around for forever. I have some Halloween cutouts that are from them that I put in my kitchen, but it was like that style of cat, and it had a little orange hat, like party hat on, and it was just like a platter, and it was so cute. And then they had these like coasters that were really cute, and I practiced my willpower and I said, do I need these? No. Would they make my house look cute and spooky? Yes, but I don't need them. So I put them back. And there was some Halloween stuff, but most of it was fucking Christmas already, and it makes me irate. A part of that's because I'm sure they had Halloween stuff out in like fucking September or maybe even August. But like, I want to look at spooky stuff when it's fucking Halloween time. It's October 10th today. We're only a third of the way into the month. It's insane. It makes me so upset. So I guess that's it for now. I always have stuff to do, but I really need to edit some videos today, like finish my week 2 Halloween-a-thon vlog. I did work on it a little bit yesterday, but my vlogs are longer than my typical videos, so maybe I'll check in a little bit later when I'm not in this parking lot and talk to you about some of the movies I watched in the last few days. But until then, little Friday afternoon update for you. I've been home taking care of some things. Really, I'm doing the dishes because I need to give my cat a bath. And Zach called me, which like, we don't usually call each other during the day. And he says, I'm at the hospital. And my brain for a second was like, okay, yeah, you're at the hospital. Because he works at a hospital. And then I realized he said like a different hospital than he works at. And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I split my eyelid open. He sent me a picture. It's like he has 2 eyelids. It's disgusting. So I guess he has to wait for like a plastic surgeon consultation because they can't just glue it. They can't stitch it because it's by his eyeball. He doesn't really know what they're gonna do. Luckily, his co-worker that we're close with is with him. I don't have to go down there right this second, but I probably am going to. I don't know. Oh my God. I wish I could show you guys, but I don't know if Zach wants me to do that. And also, I'm sure that like the video would be, well, I don't know actually what YouTube's policy with injuries is, but it's like disgusting. He thinks his vision's okay, but like I'm sure he can't really, it's like super swollen, so I don't know if he can really open his eye very wide. Oh my God, what the fuck? So I don't think I'm gonna be doing anything today. Anything that I planned on doing. That's okay. It's not anyone's fault. What the fuck? Hey everyone. I guess I'm just filming this as like a little end cap to the week because I honestly cannot remember where I left off and stuff like that because last week it was so absolutely chaotic. So this is the end of Halloween-a-thon week 3. And if you want to know more about Zach's eyelid, tune in to week 4. Because I know that's what you're wondering. I'd be wondering, does it turn out okay? Is he able to have surgery? Tune in next week.